So, good morning, Freedom Team. A lot of you guys from EXP. It's great to see you. If you're a guest with us, you're always welcome. We do this every Tuesday morning, different speakers, different topics. Sometimes just open mastermind. Sometimes a topic like this one where we'll, brainstorm a little bit. But we appreciate you guys being on here. So, if you have any questions along the way, you can throw them in the chat. Okay, we'll definitely get to those. We'll have some time here towards the end. George will take some questions as well. So let me introduce George. George got into real estate same year I did, back in 2002, and 26 deals his first year, 28 his second, 32 your third, and then he got into some TV advertising and exploded it up to 150, which is pretty wild. So ended up building a team over at Keller Williams and was there for a while, several years. In 2017, he made the move over here to EXP. And one of the things we have here at EXP is kvCore. Now, some of you guys might have kvCore, whether you're part of EXP or not. A lot of companies now are using kvCore. A lot of you are part of EXP and have kvCore, but you don't use it at all. I would tell you to at least set it up and get the bare basics going with it, because you can easily do an extra 6 to 8 deals a year just by doing the bare minimums. But George is doing 20 to 25 deals a year with his kvCore database. And he's going to go through, some of that today and how he's doing that. What he's doing. We could all learn from this. I mean, who could use an extra, 20, 25 deals this year? Would that be helpful? Yes, that would be helpful. So anyway, it's going to be good. So appreciate you guys being on here. George, thank you so much. I know you don't benefit from this group at all. It's one of the things I love about EXP, everybody working together, collaborating, the way we do. And so we appreciate you taking some time out of your day down there in Orlando. Yeah. A little warmer than it is here in Colorado right now, I will tell you.
Not really. No, that's it's freaking cold. I'm at Daytona right now on the beach, and 20-mile-an-hour winds at 45 degrees. That's pretty good wind chill coming right off the water.
I hear you. That's cold for that. I know my brother lives in Tampa. It gets down to 60s wearing his parka, and I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" But anyway,
exactly. I was going to say, George, we're not going to have a whole lot of empathy.
Okay, well,
let's get the water.
Because I got a good reference point. I grew up in North Shore of Chicago. Hello, Indiana. Good to see you. I went to college in Boulder, Colorado. Did not graduate. Nobody does, but I did go there, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm used to cold weather, but I don't like it anymore. I'm more of a warm weather guy.
There you go. So, we appreciate being on here. So take it away, George. It's all yours. Okay. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to meet y'all. If you can put your cameras on, it really helps me, because as you'll notice, my eyes keep moving around because I'm getting energy from you guys. I'm going to talk about where every one of us ends up as we become successful in real estate, whether we want to or not. And it's also the one area that is just a shame, but it's the one area we tend to miss the most. And we miss it because it's already assumed. I don't need to do anything with it. It's going to happen anyway. And that's your database. Y'all think about this. These are people, just so we set the stage right, they already know you. They already trust you. They already like you. Yet we tend to spend our energy finding new business, and that takes a priority over the business that we already have. This is the only industry I'm aware of where we refer to people who are actually referring business to us, who are going to be our future business, as past clients. Let that sink in. Oh yeah, they're my past clients. And if you're anything like me, and I know that I do this, that means I get to ignore them, and because I've already closed with them, so it's really transactional. So I want to lead with a nugget, and then I'll go into database management as a whole. Yeah, I think that worked out well. Perfect. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat box. I promise I'll go through. I've got it up on one of my screens, so I'll keep my eye out on that for you as well. I'll try and answer them as we're going through it. But I want you to do something for me. I want you guys to consider that this is something you can set up extremely easy, and it will absolutely take care of the problem I'm about to describe. And here's the problem. I'm going to use a buyer side because it works on both buyer or seller. It's a week before the closing is about to occur, and this is the state of the conversation. Oh my God, we're going to close in a week. This is great. We got loan approval. That's great. All right. Next thing's going to be the final walkthrough. It's going to be terrific. We'll go to the final walkthrough. We'll be there. We'll go there the day before. Then we go to closing. It'll be great. So we go to the final walkthrough. We're at the final walkthrough. I love you guys. You're so awesome. We go to the closing table. We're at the closing table. I'm like, here you go. Here's your gift. They sign it. Oh, congratulations. Here's the hugs. Crickets. They go their way. I go my way. And I have just proven to them that I am completely transactional, as opposed to somebody that actually cared about them. Show of hands, honestly, who here has done that exact same thing besides me? Here's the solution. I have this written down. It's in my kvCore, but I'm going to give you the idea, and it has to come from you. I send it in the afternoons or the evening. Sorry for such a late text, but I was just thinking about something that really concerns me. I know what's going to happen about a week from now. After we go to closing, your world is going to get busy, and my world already is, and we're not going to talk as much, and I hate that. I hate the fact that we're going to not be as close in conversations daily that occur because you've got other things that you're focusing on, and me too. And I want to make every commitment to make sure that we stay in touch, because this has turned into a friendship. We're not friends yet, but once it's closed and I've done my job, I want us to be. Anyway, that's what I was most concerned with, and I wanted to make sure I shared that with you because I think you're pretty special. Now, what you've done is just given yourself permission, and then permission as well, for you guys not to touch base as much as you possibly can. Now, I'm going to give you the solution on how you do communicate with them on a regular basis, and it becomes automated. I can't speak for y'all, but I can speak for me. I have ADD. I have sticky notes. I have legal pads. I have coping mechanisms all over the place. I cannot remember to tie my shoes. That's how bad it can get. So I need something that tells me what to do. And that's kind of what I want to share with you. What I'm going to talk about today is database management at a very simple, very basic level using some of the tools we already have in place. And if you do this, you know what? I'm going to let the numbers do the talking for them as well. Let's see, screenshots, key moments, highlights. I'm just checking what we got. That's cool. I'll let that go. So y'all want to figure out a really easy way to manage your database where you're going to invest in, I'll show you this, but you're going to invest about 30 minutes a day having really good conversations that are fun conversations. And when I say conversations, I want you to think that this is the number one responsibility you have. When you're talking to the people that are part of your database, your singular job is to let them know that they're awesome, that you love them, and be interested in them singularly. Don't talk about yourself, deflect the best you can, and focus your energies on them. If you hang up the phone and you're like, you know what? I think they got that I really care for them. You did your job perfect. So much so that the first 5 or 6 phone calls you'll ever have with them, you deflect against real estate. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So I got to see if I can share this properly. I'm going to need some thumbs up from some partners in crime that let me know. Can y'all? I can't see you. Hang tight. Let's try it differently. Okay. Can you guys? No, you can't yet. Let's see this. All right. Can you see that? It should say database, how to thrive in any market.
Yep, we see it.
Outstanding. So this worked. I haven't done it with a Zoom yet, so thank y'all for sticking with me. Hold on. Okay, good enough. So let's move on with this. Really? I got to tap through all of it. Okay, good enough. What we're going to be covering this, numbers of your database, what is a sphere, where do they come from, how to organize them, how to communicate with them easily, how to easily add more, at any time and finalize the financial benefit to you. Here's the thing. We did this with Keller Williams years and years ago when Gary Keller was writing the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. He interviewed a bunch of agents. I happened to be part of that process, but didn't get named in the interview. And for every 12 people that you communicate with consistently and effectively, you should get 2 sales. One will be a transaction or a center of influence who's actually doing a transactional sale. The other should be a referral. I'm going to go with a little more conservative at this point. And what I want to do is I want to assume for every 10 people, we get 1 sale. So we're going to use that as our math going forward on this. Here's the thing. For every 100 people you have in your database, you should receive 10 new closings over the course of a year. Now, does it happen right away? Probably not. And that's what the asterisk is for. It takes a little bit of time to get this built up, but you're going to be working in your database. And is there anybody here who is only going to be in real estate for the next 2 years? I didn't think so. This is where a lot of your business comes from. And I can't see everybody, but I'm going to ask you guys, actually, yes, I can. Quick show of hands. Who here gets most of their business, over 50%, from your database? Just show of hands. Referrals, repeat business, like that. Okay. For any of you that are in real estate consistently, you should be getting them because these people already love you. They already think you hung the moon. That's the mission for us. Okay, so here are the numbers. For every 100 people, how much time per day would you commit to getting an extra $100,000 from your database? Now, we all know that that's probably not exactly the case, because the truth of the matter is you're probably getting about $50,000 now. So what we're going to say is everything we're going to cut in half, because they're already calling you those low-hanging fruit. They think you're great. They're going to call you no matter what. Realistically, though, if you have 100 people in your database that are your good people that'll pass the test we're going to talk about, you should be getting 10 transactions from them. Would you give me 30 minutes a day and about 1 hour per month? Show of hands. Who would do that for an extra $50,000 to $100,000? All right. I want to show you an easy way to do that that doesn't take a whole lot of your time. By the way, your hourly rate is somewhere around $514.14 per hour based on the work you're going to be doing for this. Okay. And did I mention that these people already trust you and love you? I did, which is kind of cool. All right. So what is a sphere of influence? It's someone that you know, that you've had, that knows you, that has a relationship that you have influence over. And I like to say they can pass the grocery store test. So here's the grocery store test. If you're walking down the main aisle of a grocery store, you look down an aisle and you see somebody, you have two options. Option number one, duck, cover, run away, because you don't want to, you forgot their name, not sure who they are. Or option number two, you go down and you're like, hey, Susan, it's great to see you. How are you? What's going on with the kids? That person passes the grocery store test. Do you like them? Do you actually enjoy their company? Now, this is important. And our goal is, of course, to improve and increase our database, but they still have to go through it. So there's a lot of people that you have in your 800 or 3,000 person database that don't qualify. Your job is to find the top 100. Well, it can be 30, it can be 50, it can be 75, 100, it can be up to about 200 people that fit in there. Do they have influence is a good indicator as well. If you've got 250 that you really like, which ones have the highest probability of either referring you or of being an advocate for you or of transacting with you in the near future? And are they communicative? Meaning, are they going to have a conversation with you with great respect to anybody that's a high C personality type? That means an analytic, an engineer, a NASA scientist. Good chance you're not going to refer anybody to me, because a primary responsibility for that kind of intellect is always being right, and you can't be right when you're referring somebody. So keep that in mind. The DISC profiles, which I'm an advocate for, do come into play on this one. Okay, where do they come from? Absolutely everywhere. Starting in the top left, your hairdressers, from your marketing, people that are in your phone. Yeah, that's actually a reference to my father-in-law, and he's an old guy with a brick phone. Family, social clients, open houses, whatever you're doing, your Instagram, your social media, what doesn't matter, they're everywhere. So this is the problem we all have. We've got this huge database of, let's say, 800 or 1,000 people, and it's impossible for us to communicate with all of them at a very, very high level where we have a higher probability of success. Now, everybody here is probably familiar with I forgot the name of the rule, the 80-20 rule. And that's that 20% will provide 80% of your business. 20% of the farmlands provide 80% of the yield. It works across the world and the universe at this point. You've got to identify this 20%, and let's give us a higher probability of success with them. So what I'm going to suggest we do is we're going to filter that down to our top 100 or 200. And for everybody watching, this is important. If you only have 30, that's awesome. The fact that you know how many are really that top level people, that's cool. Now our job is to add to it. We can do that. I'll show you how to add people to your database to this ultra exclusive level of it in just a couple seconds. All right. Now, these other people are not going to be forgotten. They're going to get what's called a bi-weekly update. I'm going to go into that. I'll explain it all to you, but we're going to use Google Alerts. And this is at the very end. I'll show you how Google Alerts plays into this. It's something every single person here can set up, and it gives you the topics to talk about nonstop. And I just do it every single day. I look at it. I pick a topic I like. All right. So the first step, we have to filter our database. I think I got that right. I did. We're going to filter our database down to our top 100, our top 30, top whatever. And our goal is going to be, We're going to make sure they have, we're going to make sure we've got them updated emails, social media. We're going to send them postcards. We're going to send them bi-weekly updates. Now, folks, this is all the stuff we're going to do. And it's going to take us 30 minutes a week or 30 minutes a day and 1 hour a month to take care of it. And you will communicate with them. I'm not going to share that with you. I'll share that with you in a couple seconds because we're going to talk the numbers in a bit. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to ask y'all. If you were going to call, and because remember, one of these things is that phone call, that I love you, you're awesome, it's all about you, it's not about real estate. I'll deflect if it's real estate. But if I said you need to call 100 people per month, I'm going to argue that most of us would say, well, no problem, I can absolutely do that. And we'd probably get through the first 50, and then the world gets in the way. And the truth is, because we're all overachievers, or we want to be, we're probably said, I'm going to schedule this off, and then it gets blocked off, and we just don't get around to doing it. And what we do is we end up missing usually the last, which would be L through Z, or however you've got them organized. They're never going to hear from us. So they don't get that one-on-one, that relationship, okay? This is like drinking 100 gallons of water. It's like eating an elephant. But what if it was a 4-ounce cup? What if I said, okay, that 100 gallons, right, or that 100 ounces of water, what if we brought that down to every day you had to have a 4-ounce cup or drink just 4 ounces? Every one of us could manage that in the New York second. So if we've got this 100 people in our sphere and we divided them into 28 separate groups, here's what I want you guys to think about, okay? I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. I want you to think about the idea that we've got 100 people we need to communicate with, but we're going to divide those down into smaller groups of 48. Now that 100 is going to be called I use a hashtag with kvCore because it's free and I love it. It's a great software. My entire database is Sphere. My centers of influence is COI. That's my 100. I bring my 100 down to COI. So their hashtag is hashtag COI. That's part of my 100. Okay. Go back to sharing this again with you. Really? Are y'all there?
Yes, we're here.
Oh, thank goodness. All right. Sorry, I've got 3 screens going at one time. I'm trying my best not to lose them. All right, let's carry through. We're back to the buckets. So as I said before, we're going to divide that database down into different manageable buckets of about 28 buckets. Now, why 28? And remember, I was talking about how I have them divided into 1 sphere, 2 sphere, 3 sphere, 4 sphere, or COI, whatever you use. And I actually use COI. So it would be hashtag 01 COI, 02 COI. That'll make sense in a couple of minutes. But I've taken this 100, I've divided it down, and that comes out to, well, about 4 people per day. And the reason it's 28 is in every single calendar month, there are 28 days. So I have to reach out and talk to 4 people per day and have a conversation about them, all about them, telling them and making sure they get off the phone going, wow, that was a really good conversation. That person actually cares about me. It's 100% a feel-good conversation. People will work with people they trust. If you like somebody and they know you care about them, trust is a much easier jump with which to make. People will refer somebody they trust, not somebody they like. There's a difference in here, and it's very NLP-ish, but it does make sense. Please, please, please remember that these people already like you. If they know you care about them, they're going to start to trust you. They're going to trust you with something that, of course, you're going to work your fanny off to do a great job. And if they refer you to somebody, you're going to do even more. Back to this. Can you imagine calling 4 people per day? And you have to do that for the first 28 days of each month. Now, if you happen to take off on a Sunday, you may have to have 8 conversations that are not about real estate, that are about making somebody feel good. And you can schedule this however you want. However, I will tell you the weekends are probably the most fun conversations you'll have. So our goal with this group of 100 people is to speak to them, or to touch them, at least 40 times. Remember, Gary Keller said 33 times. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to start with the calls. Relationship is the main goal. It's all about them. Actively listen and take notes. Please put those notes in your CRM. You can use your smartphone and the kvCore app in your CRM, and I will tell you that it is incredibly easy. to call them from your CRM. If you go into your kvCore CRM, and I'll show you how to do that when we're done, I can literally go into my contacts. I type in hashtag 01, if it were the first, today's the 23rd. So it'd be hashtag 23. And all those contacts will pull up. I search by the hashtag and they pull up, and I just click on that and I click dial. And then I can add a note to that conversation, and then I close them out and I go to the next person. So I do this, I'm getting ahead of myself. I do this wherever I need to do it, but I do it every single day. And if I miss a day, I may have to call 8 people and make sure they know that they're awesome. Let them know that they matter. Be a friend, support them. It's not a bad idea to be engaged in their social media, kind of have an idea what we're doing. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So this is what I was talking about that search ability inside of kvCore. I type in hashtag 23. Now, to be fair, I have mine set up a little bit differently than just hashtag 23 sphere. I have hashtag 23 sphere. I have hashtag 23 recruit. I have hashtag 23 agent, and that's my agent business partners. I have about 1,000 partners. I have it set up where there's 3 different categories at which I'm going to be calling people on. The reason I do that is I am forgetful. I'll let you in on a little secret. I actually have my family members in there. They all have their own hashtag days, because with the ADD and everything, I forget to call them too. So I'm really good about calling them. I'm really good about calling my database, and I'm really good about calling the people that are in my world that I'm interested in partnering with in real estate. I would challenge you that that's a very, very easy way to keep track of what you need to do. And the question always comes up, and it's a great one. Well, what if there's somebody that I should call more? Give them 2 hashtags. Okay, we're back to sharing. Thumbs up, yeah. We're back to sharing the screen. Terrific, thanks. Again, not really sure where we're at here. All right, so you can sort on your cell phone with your kvCore app. You can sort very easily. I think it works on pretty much any other app as well. If you're using Follow Up Boss or anything like that, should have that ability. So you remember that 1 hour a month where I said we're going to spend 1 hour a month besides our 30 minutes a day calling? If you scheduled something that was so duplicatable and easy, and that if you did it, you'd receive an extra $100,000. We're going to cover what that is, and it takes less than 1 hour to do so. And there are a couple different things we're going to talk about. Number one, I believe very strongly, because we don't talk about real estate in our phone calls, we talk about relationships, that we need to send something that is an evidence of success. And this is a mailer, and I'll give you the cost and the breakdown and everything else. Now, remember, we talk to everybody once a month. Realistically, we probably miss a couple people, so it's 10 conversations we've had with them over the course of a year. Okay, I want to send out a postcard to everybody, and it's important that we have their addresses. We're all agents, so chances are you can get it, or you can actually just say to them, listen, I'm having a competition with my significant other or with whoever that may be, and it's about a holiday season, a holiday Christmas, or a holiday card, excuse me, politically correct. It's about a holiday card, so I need your mailing address. Everybody will give it to you, so you can get their addresses, then send them out a card once a month. No price, no address, big picture, call to action. The back of it, big picture, call to action. There is no price, there is no address. I am not trying to sell a house. I am simply letting them know that I sold a house, or in this case, we. It's hard to read this, but it says, we only work with 5 clients at a time because incredible service requires incredible attention. Please check with your state broker. But in my state, we could mean EXP, my brokerage. And it's true. I can put any picture there because I am part of this brokerage, and any home sold, I'm not falsely advertising. We, meaning EXP and my brokerage, sold it. I'm an agent for that brokerage. I am not trying to solicit business. I am letting somebody know that I care about that we've sold a home. The only thing I change is up on top, and that's the banner that says something. Text your home address to our phone number. Because if you give me your home address, I'm going to pull it up on tax records. I know exactly who you are, even if you don't. Everybody asks that question. I wanted to give you guys a heads up. This is sent out. Now, what's the cost of it? I use amplified mail. It's 74 cents for a card. If you have at least 100 people, that is 6.5 by 11. It's this big. Probably can't see it on my screen, but it's a big card, and it cost me 74 cents or a total of $888 to send it out to 100 people 12 times a year. It is so easy to change. I change out the photo and the banner, and I'm ready to go. I also strongly encourage you to do something that is an update video. Now, I'm going to stop on this and come to it, and I want to give you guys a little something to start with. So an update video is basically what's going on with me, and in this case with my wife, Jackie, that's who's there. Here's the thing. If I sent you all a video, every one of you on the call right now, if I sent you a video that was an update of what Jackie and I were doing, you wouldn't open it. Why would you? There's no relationship. But now think about this. You've been getting my postcards, which you sort over the garbage. It's like, oh, look at that, trash, trash, trash. Look at that. That beautiful woman in George sold another home. Trash. Cool. I get my 2 seconds of fame. But if I'm calling you, if we're having a conversation, we're creating a deeper relationship, and I'm only talking about you, you're going to want to know about me. And these update videos actually get opened unbelievable open rates. I'll give you an example. This is not the one that I had that example with, but we did one that was similar. So it's got 3 topics at the most. It's 60 to 90 seconds maximum. Bloopers are good, and there's a call to action. Okay, so hi, first name. I hope you're great. Just wanted to say we're thinking of you and hope this finds you well. Here's a short update of what we've been up to, and be sure to let us know where to go for magical dining. Okay, that is something that happens in the Orlando area. And magical dining is where we get about 50% off, and they have these group meals in September, just because there's no business here in September. It's just a ghost town. So in this magical dining, or in this, what we're talking about here, it's got, I covered in this video, magical dining. I covered in this video, the kids are going back to school and hurricane season's not over. Previous to this, in 2019, my wife and I were going to Italy. We didn't say where we're going to Italy. We said we're going to Italy. We sent it out to 74 people because that's the only amount we had in there. The 74 people that saw it, we had 33 or 34 people replied back with places we needed to go. The only way they would have known that is to watch the video. Now, I didn't capture open rates because I don't like spending money on extra stuff. But the thing is, they will look at this video because there's a relationship. Now, think about this. If you and I are having this conversation on a monthly basis, and basically you're hanging up feeling pretty good, and you're getting information from me, and you're getting engagement from me, the information is the postcard, the engagement is I actually care about you, you're going to be interested and you're going to actually look at it. Now, I can prove this. It's actually happened for us on many occasions. This takes a little bit of time. This is part of that 30 or that 1 hour you have to commit, making that postcard, swapping out a photo and a headline, and then creating a short video that's a YouTube video unlisted that's thrown out in. You can put it into kvCore. I have a template set up already. I just dropped the video in. I've changed my 3 bullet points. This part, the subject and the body, is all the same. This is all the same, except I changed right there. And then they have magic dining. Kids are going back to school. Hurricane season's not over. And that's 12 different touches. So we've got 10 on the phone card. We've got 12 on the postcard. We've got 12 on the video. We're currently up to whatever that comes to, 34 touches. Okay, let's move on. Now, social media is a little different. Here is my suggestion. I don't care what social media you use to communicate with them. What I care is that after you're done having a phone call with the 4 or 5 people, get them off your phone and go into social media and find something to comment on, find something to send them an instant message on, to let them know that you're engaged. Now, here's the benefit if you use Facebook, because I'm over 50. That's all I know how to use. Instagram is just foreign to me. But if I'm going to use Facebook, one of the things that's really kind of cool is that the algorithm in Facebook, if I'm communicating and texting them and sending them maybe a private message, oh my God, your children are growing up so quickly. Wow, they're absolutely beautiful. I wasn't feeling comfortable putting that out publicly. I just wanted to send that to you in a private message. Facebook knows we're friends, so they're going to show up on my feed even more. So it's not just one conversation or one comment or one message to them. I'm going to be more engaged in what they're doing social media-wise. As a whole, it's usually around 2 touches per month that you'll find you can do at a minimum, and it's probably going to be more than that. This is really, really easy, doesn't cost anything, and makes a huge difference when you start messaging. I'm going to give you one more thing that is an absolute go-to. Let's go the right way. There we go. Facebook birthdays. All right. Watch this. It'll play a video. I'm in my Facebook and I'm going to go to events, which is right here. Everybody has it now. They've moved this around a little bit, but this is powerful. Check this out. Okay, so you click on that little sandwich thing up there, go down to events, and then events, go to birthdays. When you're in the birthdays, it'll bring up everybody's birthday. Who's today, the recent birthdays, and below the recent birthdays is who's coming up in the next week. Now I have it on my calendar. I do it every single Sunday, and I go through and I figure out who's going there. And my birthday comment to them is something just like this. Am I still sharing, or can you see me? Oh, you can see me. Cool. So I got my phone up there. I press it's going to be a picture that I take, but I press and I hold it down. I press it with my phone. This is my money clip, but there, now it looks like a phone. So I press and I hold it down. I'm like, John, I'm not going to miss it this year. Your birthday's coming up in 3 days. I know that, but I'm going to forget. So I'm calling this one in early. Happy birthday. God bless you. I hope you have an amazing day. I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget it. I love you, man. You're awesome. Talk to you real soon. Take my thumb off, press send. Huge that you are actually early. You call yourself out as being a little quirky because you forget stuff. This is big. I had a gentleman, we were at EXPCon, and he's one of the flip-flop boys. They're a huge group. I knew him when they first started out with short sales, and I was walking by, hey, what's going on? We reconnected. They're from the Orlando area, from the general vicinity, now out in Phoenix. And the conversation we're having was just a great conversation. Well, about 30 minutes later, I get a video from him saying, hey, I know it's your birthday in 2 days. I didn't get a chance to say it when we were talking. I wanted to wish you a happy birthday. I'm like, he loves me. I felt like Sally Fields. They love me. You really love me. It was just awesome. The same thing happens if you do that for people that don't know it's coming. And there's a whole list of all your friends right there. Definitely the friends. Now, is it inclusive for everybody? Absolutely not. But the friends that are on Facebook that are part of your sphere, even if they're not, you're going to find people you're like, oh, I need to add them to my sphere. I'll show you how to do that in just a couple seconds. I promise you, the boring part is almost over. We'll get to the good stuff in just a second. All right, getting started. You got to make a list. Now, if you've got a CRM that you're using that's not EXP or that's not a kvCore CRM or something else, the most important thing, first name, last name, phone number, email, house address, which is number, street, city, state, and zip code. You have to make this list and upload them, or you can do them one at a time. If you've got them in there already and you're using whatever database you're using, you're just doing a sort by adding some form of tag. In my world, it's a hashtag, and it's hashtag. By the way, this is important. Don't do hashtag 1, do hashtag 01, 02, 03. Otherwise, when you do 1, if you go hashtag 1, it'll pull up everybody that is 1 through 11 through 19. So it's important to add the 0. Please remember that's just a hack that works really well. Hashtag 01, 02, and then whatever you're using. I use Sphere or COI. Your bigger group of 800 people, you don't have to do anything with. We're still going to email something to them. I'll show you what that is in just a couple seconds. All right. How to add a new person. And I believe this is being recorded, so you can come back to this. This is what we found to be a very good way to do it. Now, I'm using as an example that I met this person in some sort of social environment. For me, I get their business card or I capture their information. So, oh my God, whatever the case may be. Day 1, give them a call, talk about the meeting. Day 2, friend or follow them on social media. Day 3, instant message them, tweet them something about their social media. Day 4, call about social media and ask about referring them. If they ask about referring you, I would encourage you to deflect the conversation because it becomes very business oriented as opposed to friend oriented. Well, I'm easy to find. Everybody can find me. I just really wanted to know about your business. I was interested. Whatever you want to say. If they're talking about, if you met them through a social involvement for my kids that were playing soccer, I've met quite a few people through soccer and having conversations. Oh my God, that's great. It gives me a topic of conversation to have with them. If you know their address, send them a thank you note about the phone call. Day 14, text them or call them about something. Day 21, text or call them about something and tell them that you love them, however it is. You definitely need to get, if you don't have their addresses, use the the holiday card as the way at which to get it. Hey, listen, I'm having a contest with my wife. You just made my holiday card list. What's your address? I want to make sure you're included. I'm going to win this year. She beat me last year. If it's an email that you don't have, hey, I got something I wanted to send over. It's kind of relevant. It's real estate related, but it really talks about whatever that's going to be. And I'll show you what that should be and how to find what that should be shortly. That's their email address. So you can get their email address by simply doing that. Now, let's go through the touches. We had 12 phone calls. We said 10. We're going to just go with 12 to make it easy. 12 postcards, 12 plus social medias, and our biweekly updates are 24. Well, the question would be, what's a biweekly update? I'm going to show you that when we're done. Just trust me on this, that our biweekly updates are 24. So what does that come out to? That's at least 60 easy communications. And we said 33 was the number, and it was 6 per closing. We said 10 per closing. That's $100,000. It's actually 160 if we went with the 2 every 12 people. It's 2. It costs you $888, and it costs you 30 minutes a day. Here's what I want to question or talk to y'all about. If you're willing to commit 30 minutes a day with something that is very, very repetitive that you can do, and your singular job for the most part is to make somebody feel good. That's it. Don't talk real estate. Don't try and sell them on anything. Just make them feel good. Give them the fact that you love them and you think they're awesome. If you do that, you will gain their trust. And more importantly, they will create a relationship with you that is stronger than a relationship of, hey, who's the next person you should refer to me? I don't know about you, but I don't like doing that. And I always wanted something that allowed me to do what I genuinely like, which is make sure that they know that they're loved and respected. This is not selling. This is building a relationship. And almost every referral comes from a relationship. If they don't trust you, they can't refer you. And folks, none of us are going to beat Zillow in marketing. It's not going to happen. But Zillow can't beat a relationship that you've established. You're going to get most of your business through your real estate career from your relationships that you have established. Why wouldn't we spend time and energy in there? If you're like me, I did this for about 17 years. I focused on where's the next business coming from, as opposed to where is my repeat business coming from. My life was chaotic. I used to prospect and phone call, and I would be on the phone for 3 hours a day talking to for sale by owners and then expireds and withdrawals. And I would just go through this rigmarole and do my open houses. It was brutal. Now it's fun. I'm having conversations with people I like. I challenge you, put the system in place. It does not take a lot. So there's a question or something that came up that I wanted to, hold on one second. Let me end that real quick. Am I back on screen again? Is it just me?
Just you, yeah.
You're better off with that, with the PowerPoint presentation. Let's talk about where to come up with something of value. Show of hands, the people I can see. Who here knows what Google Alerts is? Terrific. Just a couple of you. I want to show you where to have content that you can send out to everybody in your database. Remember that big group of people where you had like 800 people in your database? Google Alerts is probably the best kept secret that you guys need to employ right now. So once again, we're going to share our screen. I got to move stuff around real quick. This is Google Alerts. If you go to google.com/alerts, it'll pull up right here. So this is what Google Alerts look like. Now, I have these alerts set up where that's the name of our group. It's GPS Global Partners. Y'all can see me or see the screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. With everything going on, it's just too much for me. The ADD's got me confused. Down payment assistance programs, my name, of course, Paul Saperstein, one of our partners. Real estate growth, real estate breaking news, real estate updates, and there's actually more in there. But what does it look like? Well, it looks just like this. So this is an alert that shows up every single morning. Growth in investments propelled. No, that doesn't work for me. This growth stock, nope, definitely doesn't work for me. Real estate news. Oh, okay. I don't think this is the way it's going, so I wouldn't use it where it says real estate momentum slows as interest rates hike. Mortgage rates, inventory, nope. 5 cities, nope. Let's go to Orlando development, no. U.S. inflation. Okay, this is interesting to me. Fed's big miss on inflation has doomed the U.S. No, don't want to use that one. Why the last mile of inflation fight might be more challenging. So I would click on this one and I would save this URL right here because I'm going to embed this URL. Just copy that. And I'm going to embed that into a kvCore, which is my weekly update kvCore template. Now figure you just make one template. And what you're doing is you're changing out the article link and then you're summarizing the article. And the easiest, best way in which to do so is you take the article and you just copy the heck out of it. I made the screen a lot bigger, but look at all of it. Control C, which is what I do with copying. Go to your writing tools, go to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Once that opens up, you say to ChatGPT, shorten and simplify this into two, can't write paragraphs.
Mhm.
My spelling is horrible, so just deal with me on this one, okay? And include bullet points. ChatGPT will write it up for you. Once they're done writing it up, that's what I'm going to be pasting into everything I just did. Let's see. There we go. Inflation in the U.S. economy is beginning to decrease, but economists warn that blah, blah, blah. You get the idea behind it. Here's the fun part. I can copy and paste that in there. It's going to give me some bullet points, and it's all about prompting in ChatGPT. It's going to take it and it's going to write it. Now, I would encourage you want to say, give it the idea or give it some knowledge base. And that knowledge base would be, I want you to write it in simple terms and not be too elaborate. I'd like to have 2 paragraphs only with a quick summary, and then bullet points between those 2 paragraphs would showcase what is the most relevant portion of this. Now, at the bottom with kvCore, you can select if you're using and with every CRM, I put in there a button which says, that button says, and I just change out what the actual URL is, but that button is full article. So I then read what kvCore wrote. See how they did. They did pretty good. I read what kvCore wrote. I make it my own. I copy and paste that into the text part of my thing, and I send that out to all 800 people. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to be the expert in real estate to provide information. It's both buyer and seller friendly. If I have them separated into buyer and seller, ChatGPT shows up every single morning with great stuff. If I like something, I will copy it, put it into ChatGPT, and then I will send it out to my buyer specifics that are in my CRM. So I'm going to become the area expert on real estate by providing them summaries of good articles, which they're never going to open. And it's got bullet points is what people read. The subject line, oh, by the way, have ChatGPT write your subject line. It never, ever is, hi, Susan, it's George, and I have information. They don't care. It's inflation challenges, question mark? I think so, ... Have them write a subject line. When you're done with all this, it would be, let's do it. Write a clickbait clickbait subject line for this. Let's see what they write. And this is all about what we say, the economy. Experts stunned. U.S. inflation battle takes unexpected twist. It's pretty darn good. Better than I can write. All right. That is it in a nutshell. And I went pretty quick. I definitely want to open it up to questions. Your database is where your business is going to come from. That I'm absolutely sure of. If it's not already a lot of it coming from there, how can we elevate what we're doing? Every one of you has taken your lead generation platform, whatever your 1 or 2 lead generation systems that you work on, and you spend time and energy making it better. The vast majority of real estate professionals that are successful tend to not focus on the area they get it. And I'm not throwing stones because I'm guilty of this. Is there an arrogance that you think they'll work with you? Is there a relationship? And I study relationships because I've ruined a couple in my life and I don't want to do that again. Is there a relationship you're taking for granted? Because that is criminal when we should know better. And again, I am not throwing anybody under the bus. I am fully guilty. But I finally realized these relationships are the ones where they would actually refer me. Now, there's much more we can do with this besides just these simple 60+ touches that take 30 minutes a week or 30 minutes a day. Plus, putting out an article that makes you the expert to everybody in your database, or just your buyers or just your sellers, and having Google alerts send it to you daily, and you look at it, and it's literally a 8-minute process once a week or twice a week to send that out. I want to challenge you.
This is a rookie question, George. So when you set the Google alerts up, where do they show up every day? Like, where do you, like?
Thank you. I should have covered. What they'll do is they show up in your email every day as a summary. Here's all the Google alerts from yesterday, and you get all these articles on whatever topics you want to put in there. Google has their spiders pick out what's important and relevant to your topic. So for me, I'm in Orlando. So it's Orlando real estate development, Orlando real estate market, real estate updates, mortgage updates, because mortgage is such a big deal right now. And you can set those up. If you go to google.com/alerts, you can set it up and it will go to your the Google account you're logged into, and mine would be my Google email address. It will email it there. You can also, because everybody has an EXP account, if you're with EXP, that's actually a Google account, so you can log in with that too, or your own, but it has to be a Google account to get the Google alerts. But it shows up in your email.
Well, that was some great, great stuff. A lot of stuff covered today. So as I put in the chat, we're going to have this on recording, and it will be loaded up later today in the Freedom team. So you'll be able to go back and revisit and make sure that you caught all that, because I think there's a lot of good bullets. But who has some questions that they want to ask George? Mike?
Well, we had some are in the chat, and I definitely, let's hold on. Let me knock out these chats real quick, and then we'll open it up to absolutely everybody. Melissa left, so I'll let that one go. Paul, you asked a question. The phone number that I call from, and when you're on your cell phone, you can call from kvCore number, or you can call from your cell phone. You can text from kvCore number or text from your cell phone. I always use my personal number with anybody that I'm in communication with, and I always text from my personal, but I will put a note that I called and text. It definitely wants to come from your number, because that's the one you want them to be trained to use. It sounds horrible. This was great, too much, too fast. Booker, I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure we went through it, and I didn't want anybody sticking a fork in their eye. You're absolutely right. Go through this slowly on a record, and just once you do it once, it's set up for you forever, and it's so easy to manage. You literally, I pull up my phone, which is it's the camera I'm using now, because my iPad or my computer camera's not that good. And I pull it up, I just go type hashtag 23, and I know who I have to call today. I don't even have to think about it. My aunt is in my hashtags twice, by the way. My sister is in my hashtags once on purpose, because we don't agree on a lot of things, but I don't forget to make the calls I need to make. I mean, I may once a month, I may forget somebody, once or twice a year, but I make a majority of them. And remember, it's always about making them feel good. And give me 1 second, let's go through. Struggling on how to get working properly. Some of the setup they're talking about, I have no idea. Okay, so if you're into kvCore, and with any CRM, you're going to find the same thing. There is usually a help button that has tutorials on here. It is really important that you exercise your energy on these tutorials and go through it. Is it overwhelming? Absolutely. What you're trying to do is set up an email template, and you're trying to add hashtags. Now, that's two topics you can absolutely look at very easily. There are people that teach kvCore, and YouTube is my go-to for everything. They can show you how to do that as well. Yeah, the alerts, JD, the alerts are huge. Anything that comes up in your town, absolutely. You get them already, which is right on. Okay, we have somebody that can help with kvCore. I love that. Brad, thank you very much for sharing. Copyright? No, we're not reposting the article. We're actually putting a link. That's a great question, Jocelyn. I appreciate that. We're actually rewriting the article, and it's being rewritten as a third party. It's a summary write, not an article write, but we're referencing the article as this is a great article. And I like to include that. The full article is down below, which actually promotes them. It's kind of like if you're on YouTube and you take somebody's YouTube clip, if you say they're amazing, you should really go to their channel. They're not going to say anything. And I have no worries or concerns about that. I've never had an issue. About the week before closing. Yes, I will. It's actually not written down. It is somewhere in kvCore. I'll see if I can locate it, because my wife takes care of that. But the thrust of it is, hey, I know that we're going to talk less after we close. It has to be in your own words. And I'm not excited about that, because a friendship is coming here. Now, I'm still working for you, but I expect we're going to be friends. And I just wanted to call it out. I'm going to do everything in my power not to let that happen, because I really enjoy this. I really enjoy us getting together. That's your thrust. You want them to know that you're regretting what's about to happen. You know it's going to happen. It's going to happen to them, going to happen to you. Most importantly, though, it'll be crickets. Otherwise, you become super transactional if you don't have something like that. And it needs to go out a week before closing. It's just a late night post. And I always try and send it like 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, if I remember. That's the best time to send it. I love the Freedom team too. Booker, again, love this. All right, I think I got through most of these. If somebody missed one, hands up. Any questions? What can I answer for anybody?
I think Mike had a
Mike, did
question.
you have a question? Mike Okert?
I went ahead and I dropped it in the chat. He answered the question.
Okay, cool.
Solid. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
One of the things with this, guys, I mean, I think because I'm talking to agents every day, and you know, as I'm talking to them, when we start talking about their database, because I've got the the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, I had that years ago, and I remember that stat. 10% of your closings every year should come from your sphere. And when I ask that question to people, how big is your sphere? Oh, I don't know. I got probably 600-700 people in there. How many closings did you have last year? And most of them don't know. First of all, they have no idea because they're not tracking it. But then a lot of people, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7. Maybe it's never, it's never 10%, and it could easily be 10% and more with obviously with what you just showed us. I mean, it's just, and then not spend a lot of money doing it. We're all spending thousands of dollars on this lead and this service and that service and all this stuff, and which is fine, but it just doesn't need to be done in so many cases. So
That is so on point. And remember, we have Michael Myers, one of our business partners now with our group, with EXP. And he has all his business, top referred agent there is. And he takes it to the next level. If you haven't read the 7 levels of communication, I strongly encourage that. And I'm not sure who this is, but they had a great question. So if I understand correctly, the hashtag is only for the day of the month. That is correct. I use well, actually, that's not correct. I use a hashtag 01, or today's date would be hashtag 23 COI. Tomorrow it's going to be hashtag 24. I will give you a secret for sorting, because if y'all are going to do this and you've got your huge database, if you pull them up and it's all of your database, when you have it, go through and then just select it. You can drop down. This is real important. Pay attention to this part if you would. You can select to have 250 people show up at any given time on your drop downs, where it shows all the people in order and it goes from 10 to 25 to 50 to 100 to 250. Go to 250. Start at the top. If you like them, click on them. And you're going to miss some people, but let's say out of that first 250, you pick out 50 people that you genuinely like. Go up to the top again before you unselect them, and go to more actions, apply a hashtag, and give them a hashtag of hashtag COI or hashtag sphere. Now, these are your top groups, is what you're selecting. This isn't everybody, because we already know how to handle everybody. You're going to be the area expert with everybody, because everybody's going to get your Google alerts. The only right criteria for the Google alerts are they buyer or are they seller? That's it. You're going to be an expert, because once a day you get this coming through. I wouldn't send it once a day, but once a week, sending them something where it's a summary, your opinion, what's happening. I wanted to share this with you. It's relevant. You become the real estate expert. They can look at it or not. It doesn't matter. And if they unsubscribe, awesome. You didn't want them there anyway. Okay. So the hashtag COI, when you're going through your first 250, you're going to apply the hashtag. In my case, it's hashtag COI. Then I click the next button at the very, very bottom, and I'll go to the next 250 and I'll sort through them. That's the fastest, easiest way to go through and select the people you want into your big group, or your group of centers of influence, your COI group, and go through all of your database and pick them. If you have more than 200, cull it down a little bit. But either way, you're going to apply the hashtag COI to them, because now you can sort by hashtag COI, and you're going to capture everybody who's in your whole database, but just the cream of the crop. And from there, once you pull up the first one, up at the top right-hand corner, it's that side of the screen if you're looking at me. Anyway, the top right-hand corner, there's a next button. And what you'll do is you go and you add a hashtag, and the first one would be hashtag. Well, you don't have to add the hashtag because it's the hashtag section of it on the left-hand side. And it'd be 01 COI, next 02 COI, next, and just keep going through them. It's going to take you about an hour. If you have ADD, good advice, do not let anything distract you, because you'll forget where the heck you are, and you want to go through all of them in order. And what you'll find at the end is you have 6 people every day of the week, every day of the month. You'll have 4, 5, 6, 3, 2. I have some days where I don't have anybody. And now it's sorted. And that's the biggest problem, is most people can't get to that process. First, look at who you like. Give them a big group hashtag, which is your big, this is kind of like if you're going out trick-or-treating, this is, you're not bringing a little pumpkin, you're bringing an entire pillowcase. And you just put the people that you like in the pillowcase, throw them over your shoulder. Then we'll sort them after we can sort them by the pillowcase, just our big COI. Then sort them into individual buckets. It will make your life so much easier. By the way, those are the people that get the postcards, and those are the people that get the email updates. Now, if somebody outside of that, because of your expertise, needs to join it, needs to be moved into your COI, by all means do. And remember, hey, I've got a Christmas card competition with my wife, Jackie, and I plan on winning. I need your address. Or I want to send you something of value. Well, you're not getting my emails because I don't have your email address. I want to send something over to you that I think is kind of relevant, which is going to be something I get off of the Google alerts. Hey, this is kind of relevant to the market. I wanted to send it over to you. Can you share me your email address? Sure, of course, because they're moved into my centers of influence. If you get over 200, figure out who you want to get rid of. You don't need more than, really 250 is about the limit. And that's enough to manage. And 250 is about 8 phone calls, 8 people you need to speak to a daily basis. At that point, your business is about 80 to 90% referral based only. And that's your entire world. And it's a very cool world to be in. You will kick the crap out of Zillow and any other marketing that's being done because you're in relationship. They know you. Then read Michael Maher and you figure about pop buys and everything else. And your business will be at about 40 sales. And you will love your life, and your singular job is to make people feel that, let people know that you absolutely love them and that you honor and respect them. That really is your job.
So, George, couple of questions here. So Patricia Ann said, can the scripts be tweaked to build relationships? I'm in a new state, no database, farm in new areas, love the process. So what would you say if somebody was dropped into a new area and don't have a database yet?
And that's Patricia, is that right?
Patricia, yep.
All right, cool. I'm gonna talk directly to Patricia. Whatever you like, get involved. Start meeting people. Remember, you're just having conversations about how awesome they got. It was great to meet you. It's in this as well. It's towards the end. It says how to add them in, and you're going to have to start building it. Now, I will tell you that probably the easiest and best way is to do open houses or some form of additional prospecting that's kind of right now business, because this is a longer term. And I would always encourage that. My personal opinion is everybody should have 2 lead generations things that they focus about 90% of their 90% of their business on. One of them should be right now business, something that's going to generate business right now. Open doors, door knocking, prospecting. Sorry, I know nobody loves that stuff, but we need to be in front of people so that we have money that's coming in from our sales. They all fall into the database. Now, the second one, and Patricia, if you have, and I'm not implying that you do, but let's say you have children, I would get heavily involved in their school. I would get heavily involved. For me, I get heavily involved in a church when I'm in a new area. I want to be in a place where I can meet new people that I like. Because remember, I'm not talking real estate with them. I'm talking relationship with them. I'm interested in who they are. And I got to ask you all this, and I'll give you an example of it. Has anybody here, the people I can see, show of hands, had a conversation with somebody that was so incredibly engaging? And then somebody said, well, so what do they do for a living? You're like, I don't know. Well, what do you know about them? I don't know anything. So what did you talk about? We talked about me. Because I'm wonderful and I love me. If you talk about them, you will be the most interesting person in the room. Guaranteed. The fascinating people are fascinated with them. I promise you. So, Patricia, I would definitely get heavily involved in whatever you can and build that up as best you can. Quickly, and if you only have 30 people, that's one person a day. You got to make feel awesome. And I would encourage you to maybe do a pop by, drop off some extra cookies you made. I said I was in the area. I just wanted to show you, whatever it is, something like that. Because when you create deep relationships, they'll introduce you to their friends, and you'll show up at dinner parties, and all of a sudden you're the local expert. So it
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. My favorite words, and for y'all remember these, I say this all the time. I'm actually gonna have a T-shirt made. Time on task over time. Those 5 words can change everything, but it usually doesn't happen instantly.
That too.
Who says that?
Hank Avnick.
He stole it from me.
That a lot.
He stole it from me.
Ah.
Well, actually, Hank may not have. Actually, yeah, I think he might have. That was, I think you heard me say that a couple of times.
Yeah. So going along with what you're just talking about, Heather said going back to make calls. So if we get the voicemail, what would you suggest that we say that we don't sound like we're only calling, see if they want to buy or sell? So what do you leave on voicemail, George?
All right. So that's a great one. So I call them. I usually make my calls in the morning. Today I was making sure everything was set up, and it turns out I still do a good job of it. If I make my calls in the morning, then if I don't get them, I'll call them back in the afternoon. Now, I don't leave a message in the morning. In the afternoon, I do leave a message, and the message says, hey, I left a voice message for you. That's it. I sent them a text message. I left you a voicemail, and I just leave it at that. And the voicemail goes something like this. And if it's like my first call where I haven't talked to them in a while, my first call is usually like this, where this is the reconnect. So all y'all, this is an important one here. Let's see. I'm going to use Cindy because her name's up there. Hey, Cindy, it's George Philbeck. And if she's on the phone, her answer would be, hi, George, how are you? And if she's not, I'd leave a message. So listen, your phone number popped up on my phone yesterday, and then it popped up again today. And I'm taking that as a sign from God. I owe you an apology. I let the world get in the way, and I have not been a good friend. And I feel really bad about that because I think you're amazing. I love you, and I think your husband, Brad, is terrific. And I just haven't been as on point as I should be. And I wanted to call and apologize because I truly do miss y'all. I think you guys are great folks. And I felt compelled to say that and take ownership for my responsibility. That's it. I hope you have a terrific day. And I hang up the phone. Now I do that in a conversational style as well. And that is your reconnect call. You can say, sign of God, whatever you want, popped up on my phone. I saw something on social media because you can always research them. And I felt compelled to call, but I really need to apologize. And that's your reconnect. You're apologizing. Remember that, please. It's really important.
And then if it's not a reconnect, you can use the same style without just saying, I apologize.
Yeah. Oh, well, 100%. The other one is usually just, hey, what are you doing? Oh my God, that was great. I like to talk about something social. I can't believe your kids went skiing in Aspen. You let them go alone. That's crazy. Which I just dated myself. Obviously, I got kids that are old enough to go skiing alone. Whatever the conversation is, and you'll find that the first one is a little more, they're going to be a little more like, if anybody saw Talladega Nights, remember when whoever the guy was, the funny guy, he went up and said, listen, Hal, I want to apologize. I should have let you in. He's sitting there like that. He goes, I'm not sure how to act right now. I think, there's a good chance you may be crooking me or something. So I'm just going to act tough for a little bit. That actually happens on that first call. And as soon as they hang up, they turn around to their wife and are like, Nikki, I just got a call from Kelly Jones. Can you believe that? I know that because my old mentor did that to me. And then he called me 6 months in a row. And I figured it out finally. There's a guy named Kelly Jones. I don't want to mention his name publicly. He's a food and beverage director when I was running restaurants down in the Caribbean. And after 6 months, he goes, hey, listen, I got a business question for you. I said, shoot, Kelly, what do you need? At this point, we're thick as thieves again. I haven't spoken to him in 3 years. And he called me and he said, I'm real sorry, man. And I was kind of standoffish. And I told my wife because she knew him. I said, I can't believe I got a call from Kelly. That was so cool. God, it was great talking to him. He called the next time. What's up, Kelly? What happened? We're just thick as thieves. Took me a little while to settle in. 6 months later, he calls me up and goes, listen, do me a favor. I'm opening up a restaurant and I'm hiring a chef and I need one in Orlando. Can you think of a good chef? And I'm like, yeah, I can. Let me work on it. I'll get back to you. A couple weeks later, I called back. I said, I got a question for you. You seem to call me about the same time ever. What's going on? He goes, well, I got you in my, at that point, we didn't have phones or anything. He had a file cabinet that had the 1st through the 31st. He just kept moving my name and he'd pick up the 31st or whatever it was. And he'd make the phone calls. And he said, that's just how we created his relationship. And this guy was good. Nobody knew anything about him, but he knew everything about everybody else. So I stole it from him. He gets credit for this. Hopefully that's not recorded. If it is, I'm not giving you credit, Kelly. Just throwing it out there.
All recorded. Well, does anybody have any final pressing questions? We're just a little bit over the hour. All right, George, this was awesome. Great. Just really a lot of meat, a lot of things to go back and re-listen over and over and over again, and several things to implement for everybody. So this was just great training. And we appreciate you so much just coming and sharing with the Freedom Team.
Absolutely a pleasure. We are all in this together, one big fire. God bless you guys. Have an amazing day. And thank you very much. And if you need me in Orlando, I'm here, as is my incredibly talented wife, Jackie. And we are here to serve. If you need me for anything else, I'm pretty easy to find. If you want to schedule some time with me, quicktalkwithgeorge.com, and you'll get on my calendar pretty much instantly. You can pick a time that works.
Quicktalkwithgeorge.com. That's fantastic. So thanks again, everybody. We'll be back here next Tuesday, same time, same link. So y'all come back for continued additional training. So thanks again, George. That was fantastic.
My pleasure. God bless y'all. Have a great day.
Right. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.